Okay, guys, alternate ending. Take 43.
With so many movies on the net and TV, it's kind of hard being up and film savvy. Do you catch a show while you're on the go? And how do you know what to keep or what to throw? How do you know what to keep or what to throw? Tune in, tune in, tune in to alternate ending. Tune in, tune in, tune in to alternate ending. Now! Please give a warm welcome to the hosts of Alternate Ending.
Welcome to Alternate Ending. We're discovering good movies, one bad movie at a time. I'm film school dropout Robert Jarsinski. Across from me is our casual moviegoer, Carrie Jarsinski. In advance of the opening of Wonder Woman this week, and it happens, Carrie, to be your number one anticipated movie of the summer, we're sharing our own women of wonder in the business realm.
Yeah.
We picked business because we were talking about doing top 5 female heroines.
Superheroes.
But there's
only
many.
2, I think. Yeah. Catwoman.
And so we had to figure out kind of a female-centric list, and I think it's relevant for the times too, as we kind of focusing on the business world. A lot of news and stories too about gender equality in the workplace, equal pay, that sort of thing. So we wanted to see if maybe Hollywood had some businesswomen that we could look up to.
I think there's a few.
But before we begin, it's my birthday, or it was.
I was going to say it first.
Yeah.
You just took the one thing I was going to say.
Thunder.
You stole
well, I
my
wouldn't
thunder.
know it's my birthday because I haven't received my schmoopy Facebook post that you require of me.
I don't require those of you.
You get
No,
upset when I don't profess my love on Facebook.
That is not factual at all. Usually I'm like, you don't need to do that. And
There's
then you
so
do
much
anyway.
pressure to do that and to come up with a creative thing every year.
You're going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
You're going to be disappointed. It's weird. It feels contrived when you do it on the day of. I'm going to mix it in, like maybe somewhere in July. I'm going to do a thing where I'm like, hey, you're such a great dad. Catch you off guard. You're a great dad, and so husband, whatever. Like, thank you for everything you do. Like, I always feel uncomfortable when I read other people's posts that are like that. It feels like I'm in reading their own birthday card or something like that. The inside.
That's well put. It is like reading someone else's birthday card.
It always feels a little weird.
Yeah.
And sometimes people are expecting it, so you feel like you have to do it. People like you, but I'm not. I don't want to.
I'm good without it.
Okay, good.
I'm okay. Just tell me offline, or maybe right now.
How I feel about you.
I guess you summed it up with the great dad and so-so husband.
So-so husband.
That pretty much covers it.
Relatively good employee.
What do you do? What are you doing for me? What do we got going on?
Well, there's some things. We're doing this podcast for you.
All right. That's nice. Good
And just mostly my time. I know, like every good father, your primary wish was to not have the kids around today. So I'm glad I was able to grant you that.
Doesn't it show how
have the kids?
How old we are, where it was like the best birthday wish would be if we could just have time alone to run errands and do things around the house. Like, that's our birthday wish. That's what it's come down to.
And again, the Sans kids, they're like, it's Daddy's birthday. I'm like, we'll do it later.
Well, one thing we've had some time for is to see some movies. Let's get into our worth mentioning segment. What is the worth mentioning segment of the movies we've seen since the last episode? Which are the ones we want to talk about most? They could be great movies. They could be terrible. We share them either way. How many movies have you seen since the last episode? Not bad.
3, 2, 3.
2, 3?
Maybe.
All right. I might have rolled one over, so I'm probably in 2, 3 as well, because I rolled one over that I didn't talk about last week into this week. So I legitimately saw 2, but I'm calling it 3.
I think we're talking about the same one.
I don't know. I prepped for 2 because I wanted to talk about another one just in case you
only talk about one. It's not your birthday.
Oh, we're only talking one?
We're only talking one.
Okay, let's do it. Let's keep it short so we can get out of here.
Let's go. Partay.
No, I do want to mention
Let's get to
movie.
Costco.
Let's do it. Let's vacuum.
Yes. Keep saying those words. Like, that's going to make it into your Facebook post. Yeah. So anyway, the one that I want to talk about is one I've been thinking about since I saw it. And it's this really cute little movie. I think it's from 2014, maybe ish.
Depends where you
roughly.
look. I think IMDb, I know what you're talking about. IMDb gives it 2013. Rotten Tomatoes said 2014.
I haven't even said what it is.
I know what you're talking about. You said 2 movies. I know what it is.
All right. Is it the movie What If?
It is the movie What If.
Oh my gosh. So
I know you loved it.
I loved it. I've been thinking about it ever since. You want to know something really funny? So I was looking up the details on the movie and I couldn't remember the name of it. And so I was like, well, I'll just search Elijah Wood. And so I'm like, and it wasn't showing up in his queue of filmography. So I'm like, this is so weird. So finally I was like, maybe he's embarrassed about the movie because it was kind of cheesy or whatever. And then finally I went and found it a different way. And I'm like, oh, that was Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah,
in that
poor
movie.
Daniel Radcliffe.
I know.
And Elijah always getting mixed
kind
up.
of the same person.
No, they resemble one another.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
it's not just me?
absolutely.
Okay, good.
And both in big, kind of big franchises as well, with Harry Potter, and then the other with Lord of the Rings too. So it's understandable.
Yeah, so it's this really, really, really cute little romantic indie film directed by Michael Dowse and written by Ilan Mastai. It stars Daniel Radcliffe, Zoe Kazan, who's married to that guy from The Big Sick.
Oh, okay. I don't have his name handy in my head.
Shoot. Well, I talked about him before. He's also on that.
I know that's one of your anticipated movies.
It's one of my anticipated. The Big Sick.
And
exactly.
I'm in on The Big Sick too. Yeah, I noticed Zoe was Zoe's there. I didn't know that they were married.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Daniel Radcliffe, Zoe, and
then Adam Driver, who you said is a thing.
Big up and comer. He's arrived. Like, he's in everything now. Like, every movie is Adam Driver.
He was funny. He was good.
Yes, he is very good.
And he's funny in this. So this is one of those movies that you want to turn on if you're a little bit aggravated with your significant other and you're looking to, like, reconnect potentially or whatever.
Is that what we were doing when we watched this? Is that what was happening?
Yeah. You didn't know that I was annoyed. By the end, I was less annoyed. But
in reality, we watch a lot of dramatic movies. It is tough finding a good comedy where we can, and not a stupid comedy.
Just light and cute and fun.
Some romance in there, maybe.
Yeah. So this
set it up.
This is a story of Wallace, played by Daniel Radcliffe, who's burned out on a failed relationship that he had, and then goes to a party, doesn't want to go. He's kind of like the sad guy at parties, but he's really funny, and he connects with Chantry, who's played by Zoe Kazan, and she has a longtime boyfriend of like 5 or 6 years, and it's going nowhere.
But you don't know that at the time.
You don't know that at the time.
So they meet. Yeah, they're at a party. He's playing with like refrigerator magnets.
Yeah.
The words. Is that still a thing?
I remember
when
some
people
places
had those where you arrange it and you try to do funny things with it.
Yeah, some people have those. And then they get together and they just form this really awesome friendship bond, and and it's what it turns into from there. But it feels so real. It feels like that. I love movies that take you back to the reminiscing of that butterfly newness feeling, and a movie like that can conjure that feeling where you're just, it's cute.
A colleague of mine, friend from work, Brad Newman, asked about, hey, my wife and I want to watch a movie. What should you recommend? And first movie that came to mind was What If? I really loved it. I don't know if I think he's planning to maybe this weekend. So excited to hear his feedback. I think I described it to him as kind of a modern day When Harry Met Sally, because same setup. Can a man and a woman exist as friends? Can the friend thing work?
Yeah. I think yes.
I think it's hard.
I mean, there's definite, like, what if you've got like a major deal breaker? Like if you had serious BO, it's never going to work out, No,
there are other aspects, but if you put two attractive people who also have a lot in common and are great friends and everything like that, like,
and
it
no
just
BO.
kind of makes, the BO is not present.
Okay.
That seems like it's a big deal for you.
I have like a thing with BO.
Well, that's good. I guess that maybe means I don't.
I feel like you smell pretty good.
Thank you. Appreciate it. What I loved most about it, why it is to me, I'm not going to say it's I'm just not going to say it's. I was going to say why I think it's better than When Harry Met Sally. That's not what I'm saying. What I really liked about it is the witty banter between the two.
Yeah.
Like, I was laughing out loud so much on the quick. You have to listen carefully. It's not one of these things where you can just.
It's snappy.
It's a snappy dialogue, and it starts right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And they have this playful exchange where they pick on each other.
Yeah.
In a playful way,
but not annoying way. Sometimes picking can cross the line to annoying, and it doesn't do that.
And I like the side characters. You mentioned Adam Driver. I liked his fiance. I don't have her name handy, but his girlfriend or whatever it is as well too. Is these kind of like over the top, outrageous people. It almost had like a like a Noah Baumbach directed vibe to it too. But yeah, just the banter. The banter was enough.
Worth seeing, and
it's free. It's streaming on Amazon right now.
Yeah, exactly. So go see it and let us know what you think.
Now, this is one that next one I want to talk about really fast is one I made it through halfway on the flight when I was traveling for work and just wrapped it up last night. It's 2016's Denial, starring Rachel Weisz, Tom Wilkinson, Timothy Spall, based on the true story of writer and historian Deborah E Lipstadt. How in the 90s she was a historian about the Holocaust. So she's written lots of books and things like that about that tragedy. And there was this English person, also a historian, who was a denier of the Holocaust. He doesn't think it never happened.
Right.
And he sues her for libel and slander because in her book she calls him a racist and he made up facts, like just makes up facts to fit his racism. So he takes her to court in England. And what I liked about this movie is it's not a good movie. The movie itself is not good. Mm-hmm. The story is interesting. It's probably like a 1.5 hour Law and Order episode, except like much slower and more procedural. But at the apex of it, or at the center of it, is really of this: how do you prove so in England, it's different than
Wait, you mean how do you prove it happened?
And that's what I was going to say. Is in England, the burden of proof is on the accused.
Okay.
So if I take you to court and say in the United States and say that you slandered me, I have to prove that you did that. So
yeah, but you have like physical evidence of it. Like you can go.
No, I mean other than eyewitness testimony, like how do you prove? But that's what I wrestled with too. Is like,
yeah,
like I'm annoyed by this guy who's saying it didn't happen, but then at the same time, it's like, how do you prove in a court of law that? How do you prove that someone went to the moon? Like, if you were, I mean, you can,
right? But
it's just so absurd to have to try to, and like that's what this, and like I don't know, spoiler alert, he didn't win, and I don't know how accurate it is to the movie, but it seemed like the way the movie was positioning it, like it was close, like it was really close. And again, the reason why this, he's a smart guy, like this racist guy and Holocaust denier. Extremely smart person, took her to court in England on purpose because of this reverse burden of proof where it's up to the defense to have to remove the it's not innocent until proven guilty, it's guilty until proven innocent. So he did that on purpose in order to like, hey, prove to me it happened.
Yeah.
And then like, how do you prove that?
I never want to see this movie. I feel stressed with you telling me about it.
It's really interesting. And then we've talked about this on the show and then also offline as well too, is it gets brought up by the defense lawyers, the people representing Rachel Weisz's character, is, as they're building their case and kind of, they have to go through the Holocaust and, drum up evidence that it happened, everything. The question of like, what would you have done? Like, would you have stood up for the righteous? It's very easy to say you would, but it's hard.
Yeah, but what year is this taking place in?
This is in the 90s.
Yeah, so
like late 90s.
What do you mean? Who wouldn't stand up?
No, we would stand up to. I'm saying if we were in the 30s, so they're looking back
sure.
and they're having drinks and cocktails and having this kind of philosophical discussion. Like, I'm worried that I would have been a coward. And I like to think that I would have stood up for the right thing, but I worry that I would have. Yeah,
but if you're worried, I feel like you would have been a coward.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy birthday. No, but I feel like if you're worried at risk of your own family and stuff like that, of like the life of your own family and stuff, it's really hard to make those choices.
Well, to make choices for other people, and I think that's so. And the reason why I'm very impassioned about this movie, it's so relevant today, and it's something that I've grown into as I've gotten older. Is I can't just be a person. Standing by on the sidelines watching. Like, if we want we really have to be part of the change that we want. Like, we can't just sit by because then other people get to and we can't just hope that the right thing will happen.
Right.
And I think the world we've been complacent, like, oh, everything's going to work out. No, you have to help that to happen. Yeah. And it's no more relevant than it is today in today's society as well too. It's on Prime.
Recommend see it or no?
I mean, if you're a history buff and you're interested in kind of how I set up the movie, is not organized well. It's director Mick Jackson of The Bodyguard fame and Volcano. It's not a great director.
Ooh, Kevin Costner Bodyguard?
Kevin Costner Bodyguard.
Could be good then.
But the story is interesting, and the fact that this even went to court and this was a thing for years, that they had a battle in court. Yeah. It just annoyed me. So,
all right.
Well, remember, you can find more details about all the movies we watched at our website, alternateending.com. That's alternateending.com. Before we head to our break, you might be wondering about ways to support the show. Direct from our website, you can head to our Patreon page, which provides you access to a ton of perks. You may want to make us watch a movie, have Tim write a review, pick your own episode topic. You can do it all from our Patreon page. Also, want to thank all the listeners who support the show and make their Amazon purchases through our site. Doing it is easy. Just go to our website, alternateending.com. Click on the Amazon banner and seamlessly go about your purchases. All proceeds go to making our show better. Since our last episode, Care, here are the things that were purchased. Very odd, very odd. I'm looking at the list now.
Man.
It's not an odd purchase. It's just the way that it was purchased. I'm assuming it's all the same person. But we had 8 24-unit bubbles, like blow bubbles.
Sure.
But not usually just by a quantity of 8. These were 8 separate individual purchases of 24.
Okay.
Like there's the quantity drop down and you just get 8.
Maybe it was a typo.
Yeah,
or maybe it's different people.
Maybe it's 8 different people
with a bubble thing.
Yeah, with 24 bubbles.
Bubble party.
I love the bubbles.
Yeah.
They're relaxing.
I do too.
Yeah. I don't like it. Then it gets all over the place and gets sticky hands. That's the one part I like.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
That you don't like. Yeah.
Also had some treat bags purchased. 200 treat bags. So maybe
there's a party.
There's
a party coming
for a party. Kindle ebook, Excalibur Epic Collections, The Sword is Drawn.
Oh, you know what? I wonder if that's in line with Tim's been doing a bunch of reviews on the site for the King Arthur
Maybe
series.
someone doing some research on the old Excalibur there, prepping for that. Yeah. Check out the site. We've got a whole kind of anthology
King Arthur thing going on.
Yeah. Also a retractable eraser with a grip purchase. I'm assuming that's a pencil. Yeah, pencil. Maybe
could be.
Grip.
Could be.
Another one of this has been popular. The Brain Warriors Way cookbook. Another one of these cookbooks purchased. Over 100 recipes. Ignite your energy, focus, attack illness and aging. I do think that diet is very much in nutrition.
Agreed.
So much part of
Hey, pass me those donuts over there.
Exactly. As we just scarfed down a cheese plate and crackers.
It wasn't really a cheese plate. It was just like a block of cheese that we were gnawing on.
So
which was good.
Good.
It was worth it.
And then Dominoes. A set of Dominoes. For
pizza?
Yeah, no, the games.
Oh.
The games. I've never, how do you play Dominoes? I don't get it.
I'll explain it to you.
Is it you stack them and then you knock one down and then it knocks the other ones down? That's how I play Dominoes.
I know you did.
There's a real way, there's a game.
Way. Yeah.
Well, you have to help me out.
It's a fun one.
Well, when we get back, we'll be talking about our top 5 businesswomen. And welcome back to Alternating. We're talking about our top 5 businesswomen in movies. Care.
Yeah.
How did you go about
my business lady?
Yeah. How'd you find it? How'd you find your business ladies?
What
is a business lady?
What is a business lady? Of course.
Or a businesswoman.
Businesswoman.
Business lady? Is that okay? Say business lady?
I'm not totally a PC person.
I'm never up and up on the PC.
Yeah, I know. I'm not either.
Yeah, you definitely aren't.
Thanks.
You never. But it's in a naive way. Like you don't realize you're doing it. It's never with intent.
Yeah, I got in trouble at work the other day too. I can't remember what I said, but someone was like, "That was offensive," and I'm like, "Really? I didn't think anything of it." I think it was I made fun of women. And she was like, "Oh," I said, "I thought I was allowed to do that because I am a woman." And then it was another woman who was offended by my
Were you making
comment.
fun of how someone runs or throws?
No, it was like
someone an ants?
I do use the word Sally a lot. Is that offensive?
Yes.
Like Sally. Hey, Sally.
Yes.
It?
Think about why. Why would that be offensive?
I mean, because you're a lady.
Mm-hmm. And because then your feelings get hurt.
But why isn't that a good thing?
It's okay. So it's not so much that you're being offensive.
All right. Never mind. So yeah, I'm gonna not call anyone Sally anymore. But yeah, so here was the way I did it. I thought I was gonna have a lot of options. I didn't. So here's how I summed it up as my definition. You had to own your own business and or be pretty high up in a big business, like big corporation or big company.
Okay. And then how did you from there, was it the quality of the movie improved your rating, or were you a better businesswoman? Like how did you then from there say "Oh, this is better"? Was it like, "Oh, I like that movie better," or was it, "I think you're a better businesswoman"? Yeah,
that's an excellent question, Rob. I think I did which movies I liked.
Okay, fair enough. I did a little different.
I know you did.
So I had, surprisingly, there were quite a few movies to pick from where there is a female-centric lead. But what I really was, when we drafted this idea, I was looking for corporate America.
Sure.
I wanted, so you mentioned business owner. Like, I might have one of those in here too, but let me see. No, I think I take.
You didn't count if you were a teacher, if you're an extraordinary teacher, space traveler, office, maintenance.
I'm thinking corporate,
corporate
exec. kind of person.
Or
like that's
CEO.
what I wanted to
You
look
had
at.
to be a CEO or a corporate exec.
See, and you
Own your
mentioned
own
small business. Like the owning your own business to me, like I feel like there was so many, but what's sad is there weren't a whole lot of corporate women in leadership roles in movies. I couldn't find a lot as the main character.
It's a little bit of an anomaly.
But I tried to, that's what I went with. And then I rather than going just on movie, I went on, did I like them as a businesswoman more? And that's how I ranked it, rather than just the movie. So I did it the right way.
Yeah, sure.
All right, what's your number 5?
All righty. So here'd be a fun part of the game too. Is if I say the name, do you think you'll know what the movie is of the gal?
Yeah, say the character's name.
So this movie is from 1987, and it stars J.C. Wyatt.
I have nothing.
No. And actually, I feel a little bit bad. This is why it's also partly my number 5 is because I talked about it in the top 5 moms last week, 2 weeks ago.
Baby Boom. Okay, I did not know her name was JC. So you're talking about Diane Keaton.
Diane Keaton, directed by Charles Shire, written by Nancy Myers.
It's on my short list.
It's on your short list.
Yeah.
All right.
She qualifies.
Yeah.
She's
So
corporate woman, yeah.
Well, number 1, so she's twofold. Actually,
right.
Maybe she should be higher up. Because now that I think about it, and I'm saying this out loud right now, she's not only a corporate lady, she's a corporate lady that turns into a CEO of an applesauce company. Mm-hmm. So she's like a double whammy. So maybe this is my number 1.
No, that's a good pick.
I love this movie.
Women in the we think we're a lot more attention drawn to equality in the workplace now, but in the 80s, not a great time to be a woman in corporate America. Like, how do you fit in? Like all of the adversity.
Yeah, now at least there's
sexism.
Visibility, to equality, to corporate equality and business equality.
To have made it high on the career ladder in the 80s as a woman, or any time really, even today, like it's still there's so much working against you. At least it's recognized now, and that there was an attempt to try to equalize it.
And if you had to be kind of like doodly, you had to be that mean, feisty. You couldn't be the nice corporate lady. You were always this person that's portrayed as this, I don't have any kids. I'm, aggressive. I'm whatever.
Good pick.
Character. Thanks.
Yeah, no, baby. It was on my short list.
Baby Boom.
Yeah. No.
J.C. Wyatt.
I feel like I should have had it on there.
Probably should have. What's your number 5?
I've got the trifecta here. This will be 3 ladies. I'm talking about Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, and Dolly Parton as Judy Bernal, Violet Newstead, and Dorothy Rhodes in the 1980 hit 9 to 5.
I thought you were going to say Steel Magnolias. Are they all in Steel Magnolias too?
Dolly Parton is.
And they own a haircutting business.
Yeah.
Bit of a miss.
See, no, not a miss. Corporate. I'm thinking corporate.
Okay.
So this is a corporate office. A lot of sexism. I mentioned 80s. They have their boss, who's awesome in it too, is Dabney Coleman. I love Dabney Coleman. Plays the kind of the main boss, all abusing them in a variety of in different ways, and they all band together to take him hostage and hold him hostage. And then they start running the business in his absence.
Yeah.
And they do a great job.
They do a better job.
It's a better job. Yeah.
It's always better.
It's better. It's a happier work office environment.
It's probably more quality, work-life balance.
Have you ever seen the 9 to 5 movie?
No, I've never seen that. Would
Funny.
I like it?
It's funny. It's directed by Colin Higgins. Nominated for 1 Oscar. Dolly Parton sang a song in it. It was kind of like one of her first acting things that she did, or acting roles that she had. Yeah, I think it's fun. Yeah. It's a playful kind of shot way. It's a goofy comedy a little bit. Some of the things they do. Is there though? Here's something I don't like when they put women of power, or like women in power, and then in the 80s you'll find that there was always some sort of flub, like something happened and like, they weren't able to keep it together. Were they able to keep it together? I don't want to spoil. I don't remember any like the flub being that they need to figure out a way to get, they've tied down, hog-tied Dabney Coleman in a house, and he's like strapped to, how do you That's a bit of a pickle, yeah. Yeah, so, they're all going back and rotating who goes and checks on him and feeds him and stuff like that, while the other 2 are off and obviously murder is the only choice. Murder really is the only choice. That would have taken the movie down a dark path. That would have been interesting as well, too. But yeah, that's my number 5. All right, to my number 4 is... what is my number 4? I don't know. What is your number 4? Oh, I do know. So my number 4 is Jules Austin. Jules Austin. Got nothing. Nothing from The Intern. Oh, was her name Jules? Oh, her name was Jules. Yeah. 2015 I'm bad movie. With character names. The Intern is good. Funny movie. It was funny. Not on your list, though? It was a contender.
Sure.
She would have qualified. It qualifies.
CEO
Yep.
and of a medium-sized business, and it's directed and written by Nancy Meyers. I didn't have high expectations of this movie. It stars Robert De Niro, Anne Hathaway, and Rene Russo. It's a story of a 70-year-old widower played by Robert De Niro who goes into retirement. I think his wife has passed away, goes into retirement, and then realizes like he needs a sense of purpose. He needs to do something. He has to get back out into the working world. So he goes out, tries to get an intern job and get back in the game years later of being out of, the business. And he becomes a senior intern at this online fashion website, which is the epitome of, it's like the Google, it's even a little bit like the company I work for, like everybody rides around on bicycles and roller skates, and like it's clearly out of the realm for him as this guy who's like still operating on, floppy disk. And
I'm definitely more Robert De Niro
You operate on floppy disk?
No, so everybody's coming up with these hip new ideas, and yet there's this table of stuff that no one gets to and needs to be organized, and it's like, I'll just organize that. I'm
looking at the giant pile of crap in the corner.
It doesn't translate to my home life.
Oh, I see.
Yes, but what I'm saying is I'm more of the just
get it together.
Yeah. But it lost points for me for this category is because while it wasn't intentional, it's still Robert De Niro, a man, has to come to the rescue to help out the female CEO, and that's not the motivation of the movie at all.
No,
they're playing more on his age than his gender.
Oh, sure.
So the gender part is not in there.
I don't think he helps her run the business. I think he helps her find herself personally.
Yeah,
which is different. I think she's doing a great job of growing this company from scratch
absolutely.
And whatever, and she's super young, which I always think is awesome too. It just ended up being cute and funny and a little bit more than I thought it would be, and that's why it made my number 4.
Good pick. Number 4 to me. This is one of my
tell me the character name. I'll see if I can get it.
Meredith Johnson.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is and you touched on this a little bit at the beginning, is only way to succeed possibly in prior years was if you were more of an aggressive female boss or corporate person as well too. None more so. So that could be viewed as evil. None more so than Demi Moore as Meredith Johnson in Disclosure. Not only an evil lady, but evil motivations and kind of evil ideas and possibly ruining other people's lives.
What company did she work for?
I don't remember the name of the company. It was an IT firm. So this movie stars Michael Douglas, Donald Sutherland, Dennis Miller, and obviously Demi Moore. It's a computer specialist is sued for sexual harassment by a former lover turned boss who initiated the act forcefully, which threatens both his career and his personal life. So Michael Douglas is a married man working in IT. This is early 90s. Yeah, early 90s. They're about to roll out this new virtual reality thing that's going to be awesome. And rolls in. He was supposed to be getting the promotion, so it's a little bit reverse. This is a reverse situation. It's actually it's way ahead of its time in this scenario. He was up for promotion. They're about to announce who it's going to be. In rolls Demi Moore, his ex-lover from they were really hot and heavy back when they were 20 years old, and she gets the job out of nowhere. They haven't seen each other in 10, 12 years. He's married now, has kids.
But do they start to eyeball each other?
No, he's not into it at all. But she starts kind of harassing him, and it's in the kind of the first act and it's the whole premise of the movie is she throws herself kind of at him, and it gets kind of close, maybe
close, proximity wise.
Of things, things. There might be some light petting and things of items, but he finally says no, he backs away and leaves.
Yeah.
Next day, shows up to work. She's filed a sexual harassment lawsuit against him and tries to work his way out of the company. And then it's the burden of now he has to somehow prove his innocence. And as a man, and again, this is more ahead of the time where now this is the 90s where it was starting to get taken more seriously, these types of accusations. Nobody is on his side.
Yeah, of course not.
Now his wife and everything too, the accusations.
So what is it? What's her end game? What does she want out of it?
Him gone. And
but she got the job, so why does he care? Or why does she care?
Well, because he could reverse it the other way. She's trying to get ahead of what would be, and she's probably embarrassed. She probably doesn't like the fact that she was rejected, so she's doing this all out of motive.
Oh, to me.
Yeah, but it's it's not a great movie, but it was pretty. It's directed by Barry Levinson, Rain Man and Good Morning Vietnam. A little bit of a departure for him, kind of going down this path, a little darker. But I enjoyed the movie and enjoyed her character. She knew her stuff, but I don't want to spoil if she gets outplayed at the end or not. Number 3 to you.
All right. Number 3 to me.
No overlap so far. Interesting.
I'm kind of surprised a little bit, to be honest. I think 1 will, maybe 2, if you're good. Number 2 for me, Kathleen Kelly.
Got nothing.
From You've Got Mail.
Oh, small. It's too small. Bookshop.
Business. She owns her own business. She's the CEO of her own business.
Corporate.
Bookshop. She owns a bookshop. Hey, man.
Maybe she would have made it to corporate had the bookstore made it over to Tom Hanks.
You know, I think she's successful in her own right, and I loved this movie, which is why it made my list partially.
How's her bookstore doing? Is it successful?
Probably.
It's doing well?
Yeah. I think so. I think she repurposed it. Now they're doing more of like a retro farmhouse theme kind of thing.
Speaking of, just about bookstores, Barnes & Noble going to be doing a bar. Like that's their way to reinvent themselves. You think, not to me, Meg Ryan opening up a bar?
Yeah, I can see her
drink
doing
some beer and some wine while you read your books in your bookshop.
Yeah, I think you get more value out of small business than you do corporations, personally. And so Fox Books, that Tom Hanks comes in and tries to take over, it's like there's something that's nice about the quaintness of a small bookshop. It did go out of business. Have you seen the movie?
I don't remember that it did.
It did go out of business.
Oh, okay.
I thought that's why you were saying that.
So she's a successful, this is your best businesswoman.
Oh, wait, did it go out of business?
I don't remember.
I'm going to rewatch it. I've said I loved it a lot, right?
Yeah.
So it's
but it's more, these lists are more about the characters.
The characters. It's the characters.
Even though you ranked
Meg
it based
Ryan.
on movie, that's fine.
This was pre all the work she's had done. She was super cute.
Her. Have we seen her recently and stuff?
You probably wouldn't recognize her anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. She kind of looks a little bit like Goldie Hawn now. A little bit.
Goldie Hawn was in something recently with Amy Schumer, played mother-daughter.
You're getting me off track here. Sorry. Getting me off track. So, yeah, this was just a cute movie, and she falls for a guy online.
I feel like you're just picking her because you like her. Because you just like her.
I know. I mean,
and she owned a small business.
I just said that was my criteria.
Very deep.
Look
at the P&L statement, Care.
Yeah.
What's the ROI of the business? That's how I ranked mine.
Yeah, Rob. I did. She was in the red.
You know who is a successful businesswoman in corporate America?
No, you tell me.
I'll tell you. Miranda Priestley is.
Good, because that's what I have for number 2 as well.
Nice.
Wait, is that your number 3?
That's my number 3.
It's my number 2.
Nice. Close alignment there. Yeah, Meryl Streep. Just awesome acting portrayal. May or may not. It is based on Anna Wintour. I know they say like, oh, it's looks like Anna Wintour is the formidable editor
Vogue, right?
of Vogue. We're talking about Devil Wears Prada, 2006 movie, directed by David Frankel, starring Anne Hathaway, Meryl Streep, Adrian Grenier, Stanley Tucci, and really the first time I ever noticed, and she may have been in other stuff, but Emily Blunt.
Yeah, she was in there too. She was one of the assistants.
Yeah, and it's a smart but sensible new grad student, not super fashionable Anne Hathaway, but great writer, has ambitions. Can't find a job, ends up applying at this fashion magazine and gets it. And then it's all about there's a makeover scene. This was fun for me too.
It was fun.
I enjoyed this movie.
Is this one of those ones that if you tell people that you enjoy it, they're judging you?
I don't think so.
Or does everybody like this movie?
It's not something like in my male friend conversations that we bring up and to talk about how much we loved Devil Wears Prada, but I'm not ashamed to have liked it, but I'm not a good indicator for that too. I'm an oversharer.
That's
and
true.
I'm very
you
much
don't really have anyone that you talk to,
and I don't have any guy friends to talk to anyway. Audience member Kaitlyn Spurlock also picked this one as one of her top businesswomen as well.
This was a good one.
Yeah, it was good. It made for $35 million, brought in 124, so wildly popular. I think.
I don't think it was expected to be as popular as it was. I think it took off later. I mean, I don't think it was anything that was highly advertised.
I don't know if I think it was a hit. I don't know if they expected it to be a hit. I think they were hoping that it would make its money back, and obviously every movie goes into.
Yeah, and Meryl Streep, man, she plays such a good.
Just a wide range.
Yeah, wide range, and she plays such a good, intimidating person.
Yeah.
I feel like if I ran into her on the street, I would curl up and run away or something like that. I don't know. She just seems intimidating.
Yeah, I guess when Anne Hathaway was casted, Meryl called her and said, I'm so excited that you got this role, by the way, that's the last nice thing I'm going to ever say to you.
What?
Just to start, it's like I'm going to be getting into character following this call.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be saying anything nice to you. That's the last nice thing you're ever going to hear from me out of my lips for the next, during the production.
I wonder what she said back.
Yeah. I'm sure. Anne's pretty witty.
Yeah, she is. I bet she's
So I
funny.
stole your number 2. Do you mind if you just have your number 1 left, right?
Yeah.
All right. So do you mind if I go?
Sure.
This is a movie you have not seen. So,
how do you know?
Okay, all right. I'm talking about character name Joy Mangano.
Oh, yeah.
Mangano. I know you've
The
not seen
mop lady,
this.
right?
The mop lady. So this is based on a real life person, much like Miranda Priestley's character is based. But I think the actual lady's name is Joy, the miracle mop. Talking about Jennifer Lawrence as Joy Mangano in Joy, 2015's Joy. The movie itself, directed by David O.
I
Russell.
remember you saying that you didn't love this movie.
I did not like the movie. Jennifer Lawrence just was amazing in it. It's just the way the movie was assembled, kind of almost soap opera-y. Like, I get what was happening. I understand it. It's not that I don't get it. It just wasn't my cup of tea. And this is from a great director. I love Silver Linings Playbook, Three Kings, The Fighter, American Hustle. Love a lot of David O. Russell stuff. And it, great cast, Jennifer Lawrence, Robert De Niro, Bradley Cooper. Fine performances. Again, it's just, this for me falls back to the way the artistic direction the director wanted to take it. But it is about the true story of, rags to riches, following your dreams above all odds against everything coming up against you. And she starts an empire.
So here's a question for you.
Yep.
So Conrado Falco from the commenter on the website said, picked Joy, liked Joy, but then also said this is her best performance. Is she better in this than she is in Silver Linings Playbook?
There's more. Carrie, you'll enjoy her character more in Silver Linings Playbook, but as far as acting depth and range
or whatever,
she shows more as an actress in Joy for sure. Like, there's more there. Like, there's no requirement in Silver Linings Playbook to go all over the map like she does in Joy. Like, there's a lot of moments. So
would you say Joy is her best performance that you can think of?
It's so hard. I really like Jennifer Lawrence a lot.
I know.
Is it her best performance? I'd have to think about it. It's hard to say.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So that was your number 2.
That was my number 2. Yes. Audience member Stevie also had that on one of his lists. How about number 1? Let's see if we line up. I don't think you've seen my number 1.
I think you have seen my number 1. And it's a good one. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. CEO, President.
Nice. I'm liking it so far.
Vivian Ward from Pretty Woman.
What?
Yeah, she's like a...
What are you talking about?
She's a CEO. She owns her own business.
She owns her own prostitution business?
Yeah.
Does she?
Does
she?
No,
does she work?
No.
Does she work for a pimp?
I thought about this. She doesn't work for it. She doesn't have a pimp.
Pretty sure she has a pimp.
She doesn't have a pimp. I checked.
No, she has a pimp.
I don't think she has a pimp.
I'm pretty sure her roommate talks about how John, I don't know, is looking for him or something.
I don't think so. I confirmed. I googled Pretty Woman pimp. Is there a pimp? And it Googled back no.
Yeah.
I asked Siri.
I might be confusing it with other prostitution movies that I
and that's where you're wrong.
Watch.
So yeah, CEO Vivian Ward.
Such a stretch.
Lady of the evening. It's not a stretch. She owns her own business. I told you my criteria, and
the oldest business.
The best business, right?
What?
I mean, for somebody. I mean, it's really lucrative. I bet you don't pay taxes, right?
Oh gosh! If that's all crime, then is the best business then.
I mean, for those people,
money laundering, drugs, all that stuff, all good.
Let's not take it to this. This isn't an ethical thing. This isn't an ethical conversation. This is just talking about ladies of business and.
But you don't see the irony in that we're talking about female equality and that your number 1 movie is a prostitute as the best businesswoman, and you don't see anything funny about that or amusing.
I mean, it's not a choice I would make for myself. But maybe
You're just about empowering women to do whatever they want. Choice.
I'm all about choice. Yeah. And I feel like she even says, she's like, I really like what I do. Right? No, she gets some nice dresses. She has boundaries. She has rules and structure that she puts around it. Remember,
I'm glad there's at least one feminist in the room, and it's me. That's good. It's good that there's at least one.
Again, if she didn't like the job and didn't want to do it, I wouldn't have chosen this movie because she's passionate about her job and driving up her ROI. And I think she does a good job of that when she finds Richard Gere in his Ferrari.
There's a funny spoof of this, it's a series on YouTube probably. I'm not sure if that's what it is, but it's like what would really happen in movies and how they would end quickly if it was based in reality. And there's the scene in Pretty Woman where they're laying face to face and she's like slowly, it's kind of zooming in on them and she's like playing with his hair and she's telling the story of like her first time.
Yeah.
And in the spoof, after she finishes telling him this heartwarming, like not heartwarming story, but like about her first experience. Yeah. He's like, all right, I'm going to need you to get out. Because that's more how it would have happened.
Here's my other thing about this movie. He's not in it for anything lovey. He's in it because so let me set this up. You just
set up Pretty Woman that everybody's seen. Yeah, let's set it up.
Some people haven't seen this movie. If you haven't, it's so good. It's from 1990, directed by Gary Marshall, written by J.F. Lawton. It stars Richard Gere, Julia Roberts, Jason Alexander from Seinfeld, if you remember, and. So Richard Gere's plays this ruthless businessman, cold, heartless, whatever. So he doesn't really have a personal life.
Prostitute with the heart of gold.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
And so that's a classic story.
That's every man's dream.
That's my dream. Yeah. So it's not my dream. I don't know why I said that. So anyway, it's not my dream. That was weird. So, but anyway, he ends up finding Julia Roberts, who's obviously lovely. And she is a lady of the night. And then he pays her, but the thing is, he doesn't want to hire her for the services that you might think. He wants to hire her because he needs some arm candy to go to these events with him because he needs a date for these business events that he has to go to.
I'm pretty sure they sleep together right away.
I mean, that was a secondary...
with an exchange of money right away as well. Like, that's like the first night.
I think, but... ultimately, his first goal was to have somebody to go to these events with.
I won't make you defend this anymore.
I won't defend it anymore. But their love and their relationship grows from there, and it's the relationship where they get together. Cutest, loveliest. I loved this movie.
Most relationships that I know about started this way. In fact, this is very common. That's the thing.
It felt really like it could have been us, And so... that's why I could identify with it.
I mean, I love this movie.
Oh, it's so good.
But when you really look at the movie itself and like the story, like it's just, that's not happening. Like this is not happening. And I know that that's what movies are a departure from that, but like if you really look at it and examine it, like this is not going to happen.
Yeah, I can't imagine any other movies that are like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
What's your number one?
My number one. We're talking some corporate
CEO
women here. No, but on their way. It's tough in 1988 to be a female CEO. Not percentage-wise of CEOs. I don't know what it is in America today, but 1988 certainly wasn't easy to do. We're talking about Melanie Griffith, Sigourney Weaver as Tess McGill, and Catherine Parker, respectively, in the movie Working Girl. So different type of working girl that you brought up. I'm talking about the actual corporate America type working girl.
Okay.
Have you seen this movie?
No.
Good movie. Harrison Ford's in it as well. We've got Alec Baldwin, Joan Cusack, Kevin Spacey's first appearance, Oliver Platt. Great cast. It's when a secretary's idea is stolen by her boss, she seizes an opportunity to steal it back by pretending that she has her boss's job. So Tess is a really great administrative assistant, played by Melanie Griffith, and she gets a job working for this, climbing Sigourney Weaver. She's made it really high up in a corporation. And, rightfully so, I would, you want to protect yourself. Like, you fought so hard to get where you are. Sure. So you might do some shady stuff. So the shady thing she does is takes her secretary's idea and passes it off as her own, doesn't give her secretary. Sigourney does this.
Okay.
Gets into a ski accident shortly after, as she's going skiing in the Alps or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so Melanie Griffith fills in for her and poses as her boss.
Yeah.
And again, this is the 80s, so you could get away with
How do you
posing.
Pose as your boss?
You go to the meetings, you do all this, you do all this.
Oh, she said, hey, I'm just filling in and whatever.
No, she says that she is in fact this lady and she lives in her house and she wears her clothes and kind of does all.
Yeah, but how does everyone not recognize that her face is different?
Well, she's showing up. No, again, this is, think 80s, no Facebook, nobody knows. When you're showing up to a meeting for the first time, no one knows who you are. So you're wheeling and dealing, and you're making all these deals, and you're talking on the phone and things like that. Oh, you sound different on the phone. Yeah, I
have a cold.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Sigourney's in the Alps recovering from a broken leg, gone for 6 weeks. That's how the movie sets itself up. That's
and then
the plot
is it the
device.
classic story of like she does it better kind of thing, and they love Melanie Griffith.
She does it better. Well, yeah, would she have done it better? I don't know. It's just that she's doing it in the right way. Like she's taking back her idea and following through with it. And Harrison Ford plays a critical role. He's kind of like to make the deal happen. And
I wanted to see this movie.
It's a great movie, and the soundtrack is really great. This is Carly Simon's "Let the River Run." If you're from "Let the River Run,"
yeah, I got it.
I'm
familiar.
Won an Oscar.
Familiar
for that movie. So great corporate women. Again, I feel bad for Sigourney's, even though she plays not a person that you sympathize with. I feel like great acting from Sigourney Weaver. Melanie Griffith, decent acting. I preferred Sigourney's performance, but Melanie is somewhat likable, which would have been hard at this case. She was going on like all-night benders of cocaine during the filming.
Life?
Yeah, in the filming of this movie. She would party. I mean, it's well documented. Prove it, Robert. Prove it. Just like in Denial. Yeah, prove it. Go out dancing till 4:30 in the morning and up on cocaine, show up on set at 6 a.m. So people weren't really happy with her, like in the filming of this movie.
How old was she at the time, do you think, roughly?
In her 30s.
Like
early 30s. Okay. Right afterwards, she had to go into rehab, and they also docked her pay for every day that she made the...
Is she married to Russell... Kurt Russell?
No, she was married to... Oh, gosh.
There's a guy.
I say... Dustin. No, not Dustin. This is going to bother me.
Melanie Griffith. Who's...
Johnson. It's...
Oh, Goldie Hawn's married to...
Goldie Hawn's married to Kurt Russell.
I always confuse Melanie Griffith.
D. Johnson. I don't know. I can't think of
Dwayne Johnson?
No. The guy from Miami Vice. I'm blanking on his name right now. Dakota Johnson's father.
Oh, okay.
I can't think of his name. It's going to bug me. You could be looking this up while I'm talking.
I could be. Gary Johnson.
No, it's with a D.
Oh, okay.
Pretty sure. I just can't think of his name. But I don't know if they're... Yeah, no, they broke up a while back, and then she was married to Antonio Banderas for a while.
Oh, right.
And then they split.
That's right.
So, yeah, Alec Baldwin has a scene in here. It's pretty good. Yeah, I mentioned Brad Newman at the top of the show. This was his pick as well. Made for $28 million, brought in $64 million. Available for streaming on $2.99. I just have an itch to watch this. So, if you're up for it in the near future, we should...
Don Johnson.
Don. I was right. D. Johnson. I just call him D for short. We're not formal. You know, he calls me Rob. I call him Don or D.
D.
Let's talk about Tim's top 5.
Okay.
Think there's any overlaps?
I mean, I think he has Pretty Woman. Does he?
So it's funny you say this, and I picked on you because I thought you had looked at his list early to form your list.
I never look at his list.
But then now that I know what your number 1 is, there's absolutely no way that happened, because Tim actually has a qualifying statement he wanted me to make at the beginning.
No prostitutes.
Only one rule: no prostitutes or madams.
Shoot!
How awesome is that?
Damn it!
With all due apologies to Julia Roberts.
Are you being serious?
No. Julie Christie's fantastic Mrs. Miller. Which listener WBTN also had. So Tim's top 5 list, 5-1, it starts with Scarlett O'Hara, or Vivian Lee's performance of that, and Gone with the Wind.
What business does she own?
I don't know. I have not seen Gone with the Wind.
I've seen Gone with the Wind.
I don't know.
I feel like she just hangs out at the house with Clark.
Is that her business? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Tim will have to educate us.
Yeah.
Also have here Inez Conradi, from played by Sandra Hüller and Tony Erdmann.
Yeah.
That's 2016.
Yeah.
So I've been wanting to see this movie, and it's a comedy, and I think we should check it out.
We should.
Before it's remade. It's going to be remade, I understand, with Jack Nicholson and stuff. I want to see the original, because Tim loved this movie.
Yeah, and as a side note, I think he actually, on the website, on our podcast link, he'll put the explanations of why he chose all of these.
We have all the details as to the reasons, his reasoning behind this. Also had Mildred Pierce, played by Joan Crawford, in the movie Mildred Pierce, 1945. You mentioned Conrado Falcon, audience member. He had this as well. A lot of Joan Crawford. Actually, Joan Crawford makes the list twice for Tim. I just spoiled his number 1. But anyway, number 2, Judy, Jane Fonda. So he had my 9 to 5 crew
on there
too as his number 2. That's good pick, Tim. I'm surprised he didn't have Working Girl. I'm a little disappointed, because we had talked about Working Girl, mutual love of Working Girl. So number 1 for Tim, Vienna, played by Joan Crawford, in Johnny Guitar, 1954. Stevie, audience member, also had that as well.
Nice.
Every episode, we randomly select one member of our audience who shared their top 5 movie picks. It was tight. I just went with the 3 top picks because it was so random. There was no uniformity to people's selections.
It's a pretty broad topic.
It's broad. And we had so many entries, but none of them were similar except for these 3 picks had the most votes. So tied for number 1 is Julie Christie in Mrs. Miller. So other people thought, the whole Madame prostitution thing was totally all right. Meryl Streep as Miranda Priestley as well in The Devil Wears Prada. And then Joan Crawford as Vienna in Johnny Guitar. So a lot of alignment with Tim's list there. And our lucky winner this episode is, in fact, the aforementioned Conrado Falco. So congrats on winning. He had Meryl Streep as Miranda Priestley, Penelope Cruz as Raimunda and Volver, and then Joan Crawford in both Mildred Pierce and Johnny Guitar. So Conrado, shoot us an email at contact@alternateending.com for details on how to claim your free movie rental. If you want to win a free movie like Conrado, be on the lookout for our spoiler alert or top 5 movie episode posts on Facebook and Twitter. Share your favorite picks. In closing, just want to thank everybody for listening. Keep checking us out on social media. We're posting things regularly there. If you miss us on the website, we'll let you know on Facebook or Twitter that there's something new out there to go see. But definitely be checking back to the website regularly. We're getting in a really great cadence of posting great content out there. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Google, and tune in for our next show where we'll be doing a audience picked, our Patreon subscriber Caleb Wimble's pick. It's basically going to be a Caleb Wimble centric episode. We're going to be talking about his spoiler alert for Dark City. That's what he requests us to do. And then we're going to be talking about his other movie for our worth mentioning, which I'm blank. Paprika.
Nice.
Paprika. Just pulled that out of my head. So excited to talk about those and catch everybody next week.